Good afternoon, Lisa.
Good afternoon, Andrew.
Blake 7 and the Mission to Destiny. So that's not what the book would have been called. It would be Blake 7 and the Murder in Space.
Or something like
that's
that.
That's what it would be called, wouldn't it?
Murder in Space.
Yeah, but
Space murder.
Pennant Roberts is directing, isn't he? And my first question is, where's Travis gone? What's he doing?
Yeah, he's gone on holiday.
Is he like, his rotas come to an end, so he's got to have like 2 days off?
2 days off. Perhaps he's gone to get a new spud gun.
He's got to put his feet up on a poof or something. But there's a spaceship, and it's Mr. Hopwood is driving it, isn't he?
Yes, Brian Capron, more famously now known as Richard Hillman, the serial killer in Coronation Street. He was married to Gail Tilsley Platt whatever.
Platt. But the way it's shot, he's in the spaceship sort of driving room.
In the
flight deck, the driving room. I like that, driving room. And it makes it look like he's listening to like Dudley Simpson LPs, isn't it? Because Dudley's playing and he's just sort of...
Dudley's not playing, Dudley's conducting.
Yeah. But I said those aren't comfy seats.
No.
Yeah. And there's no comfy seats on this spaceship.
No, well, you're not supposed to be comfortable. It's you know... It's an old spaceship anyway, isn't it? So. But
there's some handheld stuff going on in the corridor. Somebody's doing like their video blog or something, aren't they? But then I just put smash, blood.
Yeah.
Because he gets a sort of, it's like a hammer in the face or something, isn't it?
Gets something in the face, yeah.
Yeah, smash hammer I put, and he gets a little trickle of blood and he falls over.
Yeah.
Then the hammer carries on smashing the controls, and I just put fire, smoke. No alarms go off.
No.
It's not like a smoke detector going off. If I burnt the toast, that would have gone off. But so we're in the Liberator. Blake and Jenna are looking at a screen, and there's
looking at the main screen,
and there's a blip going round in a circle.
It is.
And it's a Mark III Galaxy class cruiser. And apparently Mark III's are like 50 years out of date at least.
They stopped being produced 50 years ago.
So they go for a look-see. Like you would.
Well, you know, Jenna says the spaceship is in trouble and Blake is a sucker for helping people.
Do they know that Travis has got the weekend off then?
Well, presumably then they're far away from wherever he was last time and they know that their ships can't keep up with them.
They put their foot down to standard by 4 and it will take them 16 minutes to get there. Blake wants to know about Galaxy class ships, and apparently there's 128 hours worth of data on it.
Yes, so that's not going to be helpful.
Villa doesn't like it because he's got a feeling.
Yes.
And Villa's right for once to have a feeling, isn't he? Callie tries to raise them, but there's no response from their communicators.
Yes.
And Blake, Avon and Callie teleport across. What's Callie wearing? Some sort of tie-dyed green flappy thing.
Yes, a tie-dyed top.
Yeah,
it's all different colours.
Hippie.
Well, it depends where she got it from, because, you know, again, whoever's filled the Liberator's wardrobe, it's got some questionable tastes.
They have a look in, like, it seems to be some little lounge area, isn't it?
Nobody in there.
There's nobody lounging.
No.
There is a chess set.
There is a chess set.
And there's one of those, like, 3-level games with balls on as well, if you look. I'll come back to the chess set because I made some notes about where the pieces. They've got some of that old 70s computer green and white printout paper because Callie picked some up and I had to look at it.
You say 70s. When I worked in the office, it was still going in the 90s.
It was still around, yes. Actually, it was still around into the 2000s.
Yeah, and you'd have to sort of... We had this big printer that you'd have to get it on the bits at the sides that would feed it through.
But they explore the corridors, and for the rest of the episode, it keeps flipping between video and film, doesn't it? You walk down one corridor on video, and then
suddenly you're on film.
You turn a corner, and this spaceship is surrounded by film, gentlemen. Blake makes a smell. No, Blake smells a smell, doesn't he?
He notices a smell.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he opens the door, and there's 2 people passed out. I did write passed out. I didn't do an Officer Crabtree. Callie wonders whether they're drugged, and then she starts to feel sleepy, and Blake gets all woozy, and then he realises there's sleepy gas in the atmosphere.
Sonar gas.
I just put sleepy gas.
Sleepy gas, okay.
Callie she does a little bit of telepathy at this point, because she's clearly thinking about going to see her bank manager next week, because she just wants a loan. She's worried about the interest rates, I think. Okay. Some of the corridors have got weird green lighting in them, just to be moody.
Yeah, just to make it look a bit different.
There's something in the filters, isn't there?
Yes, sonar gas.
Yes.
Whatever it's called.
But Avon sort of comes out of a room.
Mm-hmm.
And Blake's saying he's going to find the filters.
Yes.
And Avon does quite a Peter Davison's Doctor thing.
Yes.
That should be this way.
A little bit daring there.
A little bit of Darrow comedy.
Mm.
Yes. I noticed all the doors in this are very old-fashioned. They're not swooshy space
doors. No, they don't go...
No, they just pushy
That's
open.
because they're 50 years old.
All right, okay. Callie has a sort of mooch around, and she opens a door.
Yeah.
And another body falls out.
Yeah. Now, bearing in mind that he's dead...
Yeah.
He manages to land on his hands.
Is exactly what I thought. Slow fall, break your fall when you fall, because you're an actor, because you don't want to smack your face
you don't want to smack your face, but, like, Pennant, cut away from it.
So whose body is this?
This is Brian Capron.
This is Brian Capron, right, okay. Unfortunately, there are so many characters in this, you're going to have to help me, because I was reduced to describing them by what clothes they were wearing.
They're all wearing, you said about green, they've all got green undershirts on.
All right. But Avon and Blake go on film to look at the filters, and there's a gas bottle with its nozzle
sort of just
going into the air supply. Avon picks it up. It's quite a little cylinder. It's quite a sort of mini one. But he sort of picks it up and he goes, "Look at the gauge."
It's nearly empty.
Except he looks at the arse of the cylinder. A gauge on a cylinder is up near the top where the nozzle is.
Not on this one. It's at the bottom on this one.
No, there isn't a gauge.
It's a space bottle.
Yeah, I didn't. I looked. No. But yeah, it's almost empty, so I don't know what was going to happen afterwards.
They wake up.
All right, okay.
It's only just for a short time, isn't it? So.
Yeah. But Callie's on the flight deck, and there's a box with blood on it, which everybody reads. Yeah, everybody reads as the numbers 54124.
But I would point out, once you've seen it, it is more obvious.
And I just put "you dim lot," because that's not what it says at all.
No, but would you have known what it said before you saw the resolution of the story? Not necessarily.
Maybe
you take it at face value.
Yeah, but there's enough people looking at it over time. Doesn't anybody work it out? No. Then there's some screamy going on in the corridor.
Big scream, yeah.
And who's this?
This is Sarah.
Who is?
Beth Morris. Who played Drusilla in I, Claudius, and got bedded and deaded by John Hurt.
All right. Then we meet some more of the crew.
Not really, but, you know.
Barry Jackson.
Yes.
Jack Barry's there as well.
Jack Barry.
That's the same bloke.
It is the same bloke.
It depends what he's doing.
It does. He's not doing stunts, so he's Barry Jackson.
And basically they all fell asleep. John Leeson's there. Carl Forgione is there. Who else is there? Nigel Humphreys. Stephen Tate, and Kate Coleridge as well. There's all various space names. Some of these space names are quite Terry Nationisms, like Sondheim and Dortmund that we can't find yet.
No.
Wherever Dortmund is.
Dortmund's missing.
I said the chess figures are in a really weird position. All the white ones are in the middle of the board. Most of the black ones are up one end, apart from two. It must have been a really weird game of chess they played, unless somebody just arranged them in a decorative pattern.
Perhaps it's space chess.
Okay. But yeah, lots of components need to be replaced on the flight deck.
Because it's been thoroughly smashed.
And that's why they're locked in a circular pattern.
Yes.
The communications are knackered, and so's the ISON crystal, apparently. Don't know what this is meant to be. It's fractured, which means they've got no mobile vision, no forward vision. Outside vision.
Yeah, no vision.
Again, you need a window on your spaceship. You just...
no spaceships have got a window. The Liberator doesn't have a window.
Just have a roller blind or something, just...
But the only one that's had windows is the London so far.
Back on film, the Life rocket's been launched. Then we're on video, and we see a space safe, which has got a box in it with a tube in it, and they're all from Destiny, which is on the edge of the galaxy.
Yes.
Yeah, they're nipping about a bit then. It was colonised 100 years ago and is not Federation. It's an agricultural colony.
Yeah.
But all the plants are dying into being attacked by this space fungus. I assume it's a space fungus, because where does it come from?
Yeah, it's something to do with the sun doesn't provide the right kind of radiation.
But this just happens this year.
Yeah.
It would have happened earlier.
It's probably the Federation.
Yeah, or somebody like passing and some space fungus fell out of the back of their van.
Either that, or it's the Federation softening them up to be colonised.
But this tube has got a neurotrope in it, which is gonna be used in a satellite to broadcast the missing frequencies to get rid of the fungus.
Radioactive frequency or whatever.
Yeah, so you just go around with a killer spray and just one of these pumpy things.
We don't use that kind of thing.
You get a big one.
No.
I used to have one.
Yeah, we don't use that sort of thing.
Who's we?
Well,
humans.
The garden, no, us personally.
Right, us.
When we had the garden done,
you get an organic man in.
We got a man in to do it and asked him not to use any weed killer, so he did have to do it by hand.
Yeah.
Because there are lots of cats live around here.
But this neurotrope is the most valuable object in the galaxy, along with all the other most valuable objects in the galaxy, and I just wrote there's a lot of it about.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's almost harking back at this point to Dalek's master plan with the Terranium.
Yeah.
Which is, takes
it took ages to mine and all that.
So it's the same sort of thing.
But with their knackered crystal, it will take them 5 months to get to Destiny,
and that'll be too late.
Which will be too late to get rid of the fungoids. Blake offers to take it on the Liberator that can do it in 4 days, though at first nobody's very keen.
No.
Callie and Avon could stay behind as sort of semi-hostages. And
he looks thrilled about that.
Avon thinks this is a brilliant idea, doesn't he?
Not.
In the end, 4-3 in favour of taking up Blake's offer. And I really expected, somebody to go with them at this point.
Yes, one of the crew members.
But it never crosses anybody's mind to
Why
say...
don't they all go with them and just leave the ship?
Yeah. Don't know. Avon is willing to stay behind because, quote, he does not like an unsolved mystery. And I just point, Terry, I'm not convinced by that.
Yeah.
Avon shouldn't care about this.
Avon does not really care about that sort of stuff.
No, but unfortunately, because we now set up a space murder mystery...
Yeah. You've got to have someone there to solve it.
Who's going to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does actually, from Paul Darrow's point of view, it gives Avon more to do.
Yeah, I suppose
because they sort of split the action, but the action is more in favour of Avon and Callie on the ship.
Gan's got very little to do this week,
Gan doesn't get much. He's probably got about 6 words.
I'm not sure.
I wonder if this is the one where he sent the note to Chris Boucher.
Yeah.
7.
But Jenna's playing with a calculator.
Yeah, really noisily.
And they're going to zoom off to Destiny at standard by 6, so up to 3rd gear, I think. Callie still hasn't worked out 54124. So she goes off to get her parts.
Yeah, a part.
She needs some parts, doesn't she?
Yeah, they need a laser linkage or something.
And now I put the green one's doing something suspicious in his room with the door open.
That's
which is the green
Mandrian,
one. Is it right?
Played by Stephen Tate.
Yeah. What's he got? He got a little box thing, hasn't he? He's fiddling with
little radio box.
He hides under his
missus's bed.
Under his pillow.
It's not under his pillow. It's under his missus's bed.
Right, but
it sticks out really a lot because it's in a satchel.
Yeah, that's right. It's not just it's in a girt bag.
Yeah.
And why is he all doing all the? If he's just a bit suspicious, why is he doing it with the door open? Oak mark.
So somebody can see it.
Yeah. Nobody closes doors on this series, do they? Like the web.
No.
Yeah. You've got, or is it because these are like doors you have to move? Everybody's so lazy.
Yeah, they can't be able to shut the door.
If it was a swooshy space door, you would have pressed the
I
button.
will put it out though, after because Callie's watching him, and after he does it, he closes the door.
Yeah.
And she waits for him to go, and she goes in and looks at the thing and takes the little box out and puts the thing under it. And then she doesn't shut the door.
Yeah.
Even though he shut the door.
And Callie does this silly thing where she flips from side to side of the door frame. Surely you would have seen her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No peripheral vision.
John Leeson's being helpful, but the other one isn't.
Nigel Humphreys.
Who's the other one?
Sondheim.
Sondheim Ha. Yeah, and so Callie goes off on film.
Because she wants to know where the storage thing is.
She overhears an argument.
Yes.
And that's...
Sarah and Mandrian.
Yeah, okay. And Sarah runs out all of a fluster.
Yeah, she's all upset.
Oh. I want to comfort her. Never heard it called that before. That's an old joke. So we get to the storage room, and Callie suddenly has a massive torch in her hand, doesn't she?
She had it in a belt because Levitt, who is played by Kate Coleridge, has said she'll need a torch.
Yeah, but he's massive.
It's the size torch.
It's the size of her head.
Did you see? Because it's got I wonder if I don't know whether you could buy another, but it's got a curved front.
Yeah. I don't know where the hell they got that, but yeah. There's not much in the storage room actually. There's a few racks and a box.
And a box and a cupboard.
Yeah. But there's a cupboard. She has a look at the bottom of the cupboard, gets up to the middle of the cupboard, and then an arm falls down.
Yeah.
And then a body.
Yeah.
Which is Stuart Fell because it's a stunt.
Yes.
And this is
Dortmund.
It's almost as though he's jumped off. Because it's not like he's
He sort of rolls off, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he's got a bit of a speed on.
Well, yeah. It's got to be shocking, isn't it? So.
Yeah, all right. So, yeah, the one in red, Mandrian, sneaks up behind and touches...
No, not Mandrian.
What?
Sondheim.
You see, I'm having problems.
They're different. They've both got red, but they're different.
Right. Yeah, comes up behind her, touches her on the shoulders.
He sort of does it. He almost does like he's going to do a massage, like he's going to take her shoulders, because he grabs her both, like on both shoulders.
And now a massage from the suspicious bloke in space. He identifies the body as Dortmund. Avon's sort of pondering about what's going on, and you know this thing could make you wealthy beyond imagination. And he's just doing his best Poirot now, isn't he?
He is. At least I would point out, at least he doesn't do it like Columbo.
Yeah. Oh, yes, because of course
Paul Darrow's
two detectives in Whodunit, isn't he?
And well, at least one of them he plays like Columbo. The other one he's hampered by the fact he's wearing a dress.
All the way through it. Yeah. So if you want to see Paul Darrow being a detective dressed as a woman,
or Columbo,
or Columbo,
by the complete Whodunit.
Whodunit is the place to. Go. Yeah, so I suppose in some ways this is sort of training, isn't it?
Yes, this is quite a restrained performance.
But this is after Whodunit, isn't it?
Yes.
So he's already done
detective-y
things.
Yes.
But yeah, the vents to the flight deck were closed, and the death of the pilot was not part of the plan.
No.
It's never quite explained why the vents to the flight deck were closed.
Because...
They say it's not part of procedure.
No, but he actually says that he started to feel sleepy, so perhaps he closed them at that point. That's the way I always took it to be.
But the plan was knackered when Blake and company turned up. So the life rocket was launched as a diversion.
Well, they couldn't get Dortmund's body in it because it was too hard to drag it.
Because it was too hard to drag it out of the... Yeah. Let's get back to that as well. No, well, let's ask the question now. It's still blooming hard to get it on top of that cupboard.
Well, yeah, but it's less hard to do. That's like one big heave, I guess.
You'd need a winch.
Would be better in the cupboard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'd need a winch or something. But the repairs are nearly complete. Briefly, the question is raised, is there somebody else on the ship, like a stowaway or something? Yeah.
At no point do they say to Alan... Alan?
Who's Alan? Is that the stowaway? Alan Partridge.
Avon.
Gan!
They don't accuse them of doing it.
No.
Which you would assume...
If it was Doctor Who...
If it was Doctor Who, they would have been arrested and stuck in a room by now.
Yeah. That would be a whole first episode.
That would be like for the whole first episode till like either they got themselves out or somebody let them out.
But I like the way Villa's asleep with his gob open. Head back. Like he's gargling. There's a meteorite storm ahead.
Yes.
There isn't.
No.
A meteorite is a thing that lands on the Earth.
Right.
This is an asteroid storm.
Okay. Do you think people would have known what they meant though if they said asteroid? Maybe meteorite's just an easier word for people to understand.
Right. It's scale 9 and intensity 27, which is massive, apparently. So either they go through it with the Force War, or they go round it. Villa wants to go round.
It'll take them longer though.
Kelly's on film again. Sondheim said he came to apologise.
Yes.
Which is why he snuck up behind her.
Yes, because he was rude to her.
To give her a little bit of apology in the room. Never heard it called that either. Kelly and Avon are on the flight deck discussing the suspects. Yes. The answer is here, if only we could see it.
Yes.
And I just wrote, you can see it! It's there! Read it! So the Liberator's sort of bumbling its way through the asteroid storm. It's using up all the power.
Yes.
It's really quite badly designed, actually.
Yeah.
Considering it's like a huge, amazing ship, it does seem to have power problems every now and then. Again, it's a brilliant ship, except when the plot calls for it not to be.
Not to be, yeah.
But yeah, they're going their way through. Then there's an alarm or something. There's a filtration malfunction. There's something going on, and there's
we're back on the ship. Yeah, the Ortega it's called.
Yeah, there's been another killing. Yes. Oh, that's pointless. The ship's called the Ortega. They don't say it very much.
They don't. No. But before we see this, you see Mandrian goes into a room and says, "I knew you would be here. I knew you would be here."
All right. Okay.
And then he's dead.
Okay. But yeah, I
never confront the killer on your own.
I wrote, the green one is dead on film.
Is he green?
The green one's dead on film. Mandrian's dead.
Yeah.
And Sondheim's being held.
He is,
isn't he?
He's struggling.
Being held by like burly John Leeson and Corfilgian.
And Corfilgian. Neither of which come up to his shoulder, really.
Yeah, they're but there's this tube that's sparking and stuff. And he's going, I didn't kill him, but apparently he was found standing over him with a dagger, which is a bit of circumstantial evidence, I suppose.
Yeah. But it's quite a good piece of acting. He really does sort of...
Right. Zen's useless again. He says, in 1 minute, you've got to decide whether you want to keep main drive going or the force wall.
Yeah.
Because you can't have both.
No. It's draining the power.
Because I'm feeling all weak and feeble. They might be at the edge of the storm, but Villa's sensors are not sure. Do you know what I put?
What?
Put the handbrake on and sit there for half an hour and recharge.
Yeah, but you'd have to keep the force wall on.
Doesn't matter.
But then
turn the drive off, sit there for a bit.
Jenna said that they're getting tracked, so perhaps they'd be pulled further back into the storm. It's space.
Not sure about Terry Nation's physics sometimes, but yeah. The force wall's turned off. Gan does some wincing.
Yeah.
He's on the sofa bit, isn't he? And he's like, that was his bit of acting for
that
this
was
week.
It. That's all he's got to do.
And the box rattles and falls off.
It's away across, and falls off the glass table.
Yeah. And does anything break inside? Well, we'll find out. Back on the ship, Avon thinks Sondheim is innocent. Because he should have had a tool in his hand to cut the cable. They said
the thing they cut through had an electrical charge, so they'd need an insulated saw or knife to cut through it, and there wasn't one. So the killer has come in, Mandrian has interrupted them, got himself killed, and the killer has gone out with the insulated saw, but left the dagger.
Right. It's all a bit complicated, this.
Perhaps they didn't have enough hands to take
then
the dagger.
Avon finally works out what 54124 means.
He does.
And he writes it out for Barry Jackson, doesn't he? And do you know what I wrote at this point?
What's that?
Boobs.
Boobs.
Shell oil.
Shell oil?
Because he goes on about liquid crystals and things like that. Which made me think about when you were at school, you type numbers into your calculator.
Yeah.
So if you typed 7107735, it would say, and turn the calculator upside down, it would say Shell oil.
Okay.
See? Shell oil.
Okay.
Right. And if you wrote 58008 and turned your calculator upside down, it would say boobs.
Sophisticated.
So 54124. The 5 is the S, the 4s are the A's, and the 1-2 is actually the R, which is Sarah.
Sarah.
It really wasn't that difficult.
It wasn't that difficult, but you know.
Yeah.
She's blonde and all girly. Nobody thinks it's going to be her.
And she gets a special gun out.
Yeah, she's got a little gun.
Yeah. And she wanted the money basically. Mandarin found out. And then she sort of retreats out the door, saying you'll get your head shot if you if you poke it outside. She's lying because she doesn't.
No, she goes to runs away and hides.
Now, like the way Avon says, well, she's your responsibility. Get after her.
Yeah, but meanwhile we have cut back to the Liberator to find that the box is empty. Because who did Barry Jackson send to get it? Sarah. Which means she must know the code. Unless he didn't lock it away, because he said he was the only one that knew the code to the safe and had the key.
Okay.
Unless he didn't lock it away. In which case, that's careless.
Slack. Yeah, just Avon's not bothered at this point.
No.
You get on with it, you get shot. Kelly's mysterious box turns out to be a homing beam transmitter because there's another ship
on its way.
On the way. So, yes. Turn over. Yes, this is the point at which we find out there's note in the box.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so there's note in the box, and I just wrote Doe. You'd just think you'd have just checked it.
Yeah.
Just open it, have a look, make sure it's all right. Yeah. It's like, you know, when we go out, I say, have I got my keys? Have you check that? Got my wallet? You know, you'd at least look in the box to make sure it was there, wouldn't you?
Yes. Instead of just assuming. But so, how heavy is the box that you can't feel whether there's something inside it or not?
I don't know. Right, so they've got all the other way to this asteroid storm, yet they miraculously get back.
Yeah, with minimal damage or
because they must have run out of power.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to recharge anyway.
Yeah. Right, no. We don't worry about that.
Unless they found some a battery pack or something, you know, like just jump started Zen a bit, you know. There you are, you've got power again. Oh, thank you. That was Zen. Sarah's on the flight deck.
She's locked herself in.
Meanwhile, the corridor outside is on film.
I love the fact as well is that John Leeson and Carl Fogione get there and he tries the door. It's locked. Well, obviously it's locked. She's not going to leave it open for you, is she, you fool? He sounds so disappointed.
Put a wedge underneath it or something. So they've got to get her to come out. There's 23 minutes before the Liberator's in teleport range. And they spot the other ship coming. They'll get there 3 minutes before the other ship does.
Yes.
That's lucky. There's some gunfire outside and some screaming outside the flight deck.
Yes.
And some bodies are on the floor when she opens the door. And then she has a little tussle with Avon, doesn't she?
She does.
And they just put Avon Bocco.
Yeah.
Do you know why I put Bocco?
No.
It's from The Young Ones.
Oh, God, okay.
When the people's poet is having a poetry fight with the police, and there's a bit where he delivers a line, and the policeman sort of reels back, and it says Bocco, like a cartoon.
Okay.
And that's what I thought of. And Avon says he really rather enjoyed
that.
Yeah,
he punches her in the face.
Come on, what do you think of that? I'm not commenting. I just want your response.
In the context of the story, it just about is okay.
Yeah.
The fact he seems to enjoy it a little too much is not okay.
Yeah.
But in the terms of the story and the fact that she's the baddie, yeah, it's just about okay.
What if it had been Gan?
I'm not getting into the whole limited sexual thing.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, he's cutting it too fine. Gan gets a line.
Yeah. Hooray!
Yeah. And then they all teleport over.
Except Sarah.
Except Sarah, who pulls her thing off,
and
doesn't
throws
she?
it away and it breaks.
Because she's going, I'm not going, like she's a grumpy kid or something. You know. And then the ship explodes.
It does.
And I went, hang on, well that wasn't the other ship firing on them, because that would have been daft. It turns out that Blake rigged a charge on the entry hatch when we weren't looking.
He did. But if you notice, he's got Villa's box.
Pardon? Villa's sandwich box.
Sandwich box.
All right.
So he's obviously got explosives in it.
So they're going to.
He does go off and do something.
Yeah. So they're going to head off to Destiny, but
Yeah.
Villa gets the funny line
He
at
does.
the
He
end.
gets the funny final line. They don't all laugh though.
Take us round the easy way this time.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. Da 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 da. Right. What do you say? You quite like this one?
I quite like this one. I can see why people didn't appreciate it at the time, though. I don't appreciate it now because it is a real departure from what's been on in the previous weeks.
I would argue it's in no way a Blake Seven story.
No.
Especially.
It's like this is a really early draft for a story because obviously Blake Seven was conceived to follow to fill the slot that Softly used to follow, and it's almost like this is a really early story that Terry Nation's written about police in space.
Just make some mystery.
Yeah, and then
story.
they go to do it, and they haven't got any time to write anything else.
Yeah.
So they have to go with it.
I almost wonder if it's like adapted from a draft script for another series completely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
There's no evidence of that.
A space police series,
but
it
does feel like you could drag and drop it into quite a lot of other shows, doesn't it? So, after having set up Servalan and Travis
to
last
then have
week,
a week away from it,
would it have worked better the other way round?
What, to have it before
to have this before Seek, Locate, Destroy?
Possibly.
I don't know. Yeah. Because it just seems like everybody's forgotten about what happened last week.
Yeah.
So
and then next week you get
back into it again.
Yeah.
So it is weird to have it in this position in the season.
Perhaps that might not have been a bad idea to have it swapped in position with it.
But maybe sort of production sort of needs meant that, because don't forget this is a scramble to get all the scripts and all the production in, and you've heard stories about how hard that first season was just to finish.
Yeah.
So there may be reasons why they couldn't do it like that.
And it's an okay story.
Yeah.
I mean, I quite like it. I possibly enjoyed it a little less this time. Maybe again, the thing with whodunits is once you've watched it once and you know who the murderer is, you never regain that element of surprise.
No.
So you're just watching to see how long it takes the people involved to work out.
Well, I'd say it's a bit of a disappointment after last week from my point of view.
I can understand that.
Again, if you sort of where it is in the season, but okay, but next week, what's next week?
Duel.
Ooh, bit of classic Camfield then.
Good bit of Camfield.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you again for that then.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.